Alright, you country queers, welcome back to practicing portraits, an artwod roadmap. Almost stumbled there, I forgot what I was doing. But yeah, what is artwod? The best platform in the world to learn how to draw forms, simplify them, and then manipulate them, right? In order to draw from imagination with the things that you want to draw. Not really the best explanation, but either way, they give you the work, not the shortcut. If you want to learn how to draw and think in 3D and manipulate that 3D and then apply that 3D, then artwod is the fucking way. I'm not affiliated. I'm just like look, Dick Rider. Right? Got a little bit of stuck in my throat. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, right? Who am I? I'm Viggy. This channel serves as a repository of my art practice over the next 40 years, right, to prove that anybody can draw, that anybody can do this, and that this is nothing, right? And we're all capable of building a very strong spatial reasoning engine in our mind. Yeah, Jesus Christ, right? And the fundamentals are 90% of my practice. These imagination drawings are 10%. This is really like, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, ah, so many fucking issues, but whatever. That's just the inner critique coming out of me. Emphasis on the coming out, but yeah, anyways, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Jesus Christ. Please get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Let's put in a lot of effort together, because the effort is the only thing we can control, right? So please draw along with me. I need your retention. I really need the watch hours. You actually don't matter at all. You're just a fucking number. You're a statistic. But the number that really does matter is how long you stay. So please draw along. Seriously though, use me as body doubling. Apparently it works. Like, apart from my memes, apparently actually like drawing along or just doing something with somebody, right? I do a lot of, as you can see, extremely intensive work, right? Cognitive work, because drawing is thinking. So apparently it actually helps when somebody else acts as a mirror to your cognitive effort. So please, let's put in a lot of cognitive effort together. Haha, get it? Dick jokes, because I'm fucking original. To be honest, I have nothing going for me, but either way. And that's exactly why I have everything going for me, because I have nothing to lose. I'm confusing myself. Anyways, what are we doing? We're doing the artwod portrait roadmap. Looking at a portrait, putting a box. When I say putting a box, I mean I'm visualizing and calculating all of this, right? Just as a heads up. Everything I say when I'm saying I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's all in my mind. I'm calculating. Drawing is a thinking skill, right? It's thinking. If you're not thinking, you're not drawing, you're doodling, right? And then when you're aware that you're doodling, you get to think again. And thinking is very difficult. This is fucking extremely difficult, right? So what am I doing? What are we doing? And you don't actually have to do this. By the way, whatever fundamental you're working on, please feel free to practice that at your level, right? At your level, in the sense that, like, hey, this is my current level and I'm trying to be 20 to 30% better than that. You're pushing your level, right? That's what I mean. But it's all fucking self-explanatory, right? No, this is not a stain on your page. This is on your screen. This is actually on the page. Because when I was looking at the recording, I was like, that somebody could think there's a mark on their page. No, this is here. I'll even... There you go, you see? It's part of the page. I don't know why I did that. Fuck. But anyways, we're looking at a portrait. We're putting a box over that portrait. We're putting a sphere inside that box. We're putting center lines inside the sphere inside the box. We're putting center lines on each visible plane. And we're seeing through the form now. We're practicing seeing through the form and putting center lines, vertical, horizontal, and diagonal, inside the form, the planes that we can't see as well. And then we're calculating how the sphere sits inside the box based on the center points of every single plane, right? And then calculating ellipses inside each plane. Basically, there's a fucking easily 30 plus, 40 plus calculations occurring, as you can see here. This is what I put in after to tell you, like, this is what I'm trying to see. Am I really seeing all of this? No, I'm seeing about 30 to 40% of it, and I'm at any given time. And of that 30 to 40%, I'm able to hold that for 30 to 40% of the time. So really, it's all just constantly trying. But anyways, yeah, let's get started. I've now officially, I've started thinking, i.e. I've started drawing. Right? But I'm really trying to figure out, because this woman's actually wearing a hijab, right? I don't know if she's allowed to wear makeup if you're wearing a hijab. There has to be some rule in Islamabad that says you cannot, right? None of that makes sense, but I know the word Islam, I know the word hijab, and I made the correlation, so you're welcome. But it's okay, I'm brown. I'm allowed to speak on things that are also brown adjacent, with zero knowledge and sheer ignorance, right? That's how it works. 9/11 was an inside job, right? All that shit. So anyways, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the box that essentially up until her nose is what it's placed in, because I'm also trying to think about the Loomis proportions, by the way, just very vaguely. I don't have the ability, because the end goal is to be able to see this entire thing crystallized in my mind, like purely at any single angle, like this, right? Just completely crystallized, and then apply Loomis on the sphere, because Loomis does use a sphere for the first 3 parts of the head, right, up until the nose. So like I have to calculate all of that, right? So, and right now calculating, and it's rough. I can't calculate really exactly the math behind like where those Loomis proportions are occurring, right? But over hundreds of hours, when this gets more crystallized, and by crystallized I means my brain, my working memory chunks this information because it's a working memory skill, right? Drawing, spatial reasoning is a cognitive endurance. It's a marathon. It's literally a fucking cognitive endurance marathon, right? You lose when you fucking stop. When you stop walking, when you stop running, right? You just lose. So the point of the game is to keep playing, right? So I'm just trying to figure out exactly what angle her face is at, right? It's definitely a bottom angle, right? The ear is, let's see, well, let me start with the plane because I need to visualize the box. So the difficult part right now is like I'm trying to project this onto the portrait. So I'm looking away from the page right now. I'm looking at that. I'm trying to project this schema, this mental model, this essentially, this fused mental, this 3D simulations, this mental model onto the portrait, right? And it's very difficult because I'm not really doing it accurately whatsoever, but I'm trying to hold that. I'm really trying to like understand exactly where it's placed and the calculations hopefully I can see, right? And then now that I've got a rough idea, I am trying to, and again, like even when I'm projecting this mental model onto her face, it keeps shifting, right? The planes converge or they diverge like horribly inaccurately, right? It keeps going up when it needs to be aligned with her nose. It keeps going up to her eye, right? There's a lot of things that are occurring that are just objectively incorrect, right? And that's fine. You know, that's okay. That's exactly how it should be. If it wasn't wrong, then there's nothing to fix. Then therefore I'm a perfect artist and I never need to practice again, right? So there's always something to work towards. But it's already like my brain is really taxed, right? Just from looking at the portrait and trying to project the schema onto her. But now I have to think about the box in of itself. And now when I'm thinking about the box, I'm trying to remember the portrait in of itself, like how her face is placed, right? And see, like I already got the wrong angle. I was doing this, right, for eye line, like just the perspective, or I was doing like something way more like this, but it's more subtle. It's like that, right? So I consistently need to be thinking about how that works, right? Like how her existence, her portrait, like the reference, is relative and related and applied to the box that I'm trying to see, right? And I'm trying to see through this box and I'm trying to zoom out and see through the box and I'm trying to get the right angles and everything down, right? And I'm zoomed out. So right now my lines are suffering. You can see it's getting a lot thicker here. You might not see that as suffering, but that's the thing, right? It's like the fact or like that it getting worse, but the fact of the matter is it is getting worse, right? Because it started from thin to a decent amount thicker, right? And I'm trying to think about the form and how this is like as a box. I need to understand this, right? So and I'm trying to see through the form. I'm trying to see through all the other sides of the planes, right? So I did this wrong because there's not enough depth on the side plane. So I'm trying to fix that right now. That's what we're trying to fix. And I've just admitted or agreed upon to myself that this is the size of the box that I'll be utilizing, right? This is a pretty good size. It's a good amount of projection outward, right? But again, like every time I look at this portrait, I'm really trying to understand. And I think I may have made the front angle of her face a bit too much, right? Like this tilt a bit too much because it's a bit more subtle. It's like this, right? What I did is this. So that's a difference. That is a difference. And these little millimeters of differences add up, right? I'm really trying to already, like now that I'm looking at this, I'm trying to think about the overall, how the sphere sits inside of this as well. But it's hard because I haven't exactly come across, like I haven't drawn a proper cube seen through form in this angle before, right? So I need to really think about this. And I need to think about how the side plane exists. And while I'm doing that, like I'm not gonna make any mark yet. I need to think about the box in of itself, and everything's converging, right? I'm adding slight convergences because that's more realistic in terms of the actual world. We see everything especially in terms of like even anything with perspective. We see at the very minimum, we see slight convergences. What I was doing before, like the shit was like perfect, like equally parallel, but that's not realistic, right? So I do want to have that little bit of realism to it. It's important as well, right? So this is slightly converging upwards, this is slightly converging, right? Like basically this is the vanishing point. There's a vanishing point there, vanishing point there, vanishing point there, right? This is well, I still need to think about the horizon line. There's so much to think about, but right now I'm really trying to think about how the sphere sits in all of this, right? But you see, my mind wants to create this as the bottom plane. That's completely inaccurate. So why do you think you notice how my sphere went down here? And my mental model for the sphere is still not it's not like, for especially this new mental model, it hasn't been consolidated yet. So in this angle, I need to update my mental model for the correct box with actual depth and then the sphere that follows that depth, right? Which is all very beautifully difficult. And I believe right? Like it's more akin to this. Like it's placed right around here, right? Could be wrong, but I definitely feel as if I am wrong. But I'm really trying to think about it right now. And I said this, right? Yesterday, the day before, I saw the mental model really clearly, but in this angle, because this is interleaving, we're changing the angle, right? We're changing the approach. And my brain, like I haven't been taxing it nearly as much as I should, but I keep looking at this. I'm trying to understand the depth, right? And I'm trying to understand, because the thing is, because her ear's fucking covered by the hijab, right? I cannot see or understand exactly where the ear is. So I have to like make this a bit of guesswork in the sense that like where is the ear actually? Like what is actually going on? And I think it's much more subtle than I even am letting on to myself. And while I'm making this mark, I'm really trying to think about the depth, right? The depth of the box, right? So something like that is a bit more accurate, I believe, right? But that means this needs to be slightly larger, right? And again, I'm really trying to see through the box. And this could be incorrect. Don't get me wrong. This could very well be incorrect. But the point is, like, I'm really trying to see through at this point, right? Like, we're actually trying to understand the depth of what we're drawing, right? And that is the most important part, is to understand the depth of what we're drawing. That's why I'm trying to see through this other side plane. Like this plane, projecting it back this plane, right? This plane, projecting it back the top plane, you know? And then this front plane, projecting it back the back plane. Like, I'm really trying to see all that at once. And now I'm trying to think about the cross axis, the center line, the cross axis, right? The center lines. They're the same thing, cross-axis, center line. What I'm trying to say is a diagonal, vertical, and horizontal cross-axis and center lines, right? Like, let's see. This looks decent to me. It doesn't look perfect, but it looks decent. So we're gonna just have to, and again, I'm zooming out, and while I zoom out, I really gotta make, and this pen is dying, of course, but I got to make sure that I put a little bit of convergence, right? There has to be realistic convergence, and I am zoomed in right now, like I was only seeing that, but like now I'm trying to zoom out again. I'm really trying to see everything. I'm gonna rest my brain in about like a minute or so, but I just need to hold this all together. And again, being able to see everything, and I haven't even seen the sphere yet, by the way. This is just the box, because just seeing the box correctly in this new angle is a schema that's being reinvented, rebuilt, re-understood, right? So yeah, and this is everything that I'm thinking about right now. Like, I'm thinking about the box, I'm trying to see all the cross axis, I'm trying to see through the form, I'm trying to see a lot, right? And honestly, we might actually have to, yeah, the front plane I'm gonna cut, because the front plane is, oh, you see, like I fucked up that line. But the front plane, there you go, that's more accurate. See, like, so I have a tendency now, I know, to make the front plane too wide, right? To make the front plane a bit too wide. And again, I'm really trying to see through the form, really trying to see the cross axis. I'm trying to zoom out as much as possible. Right now, when I say I'm trying to see through the form, I'm trying to see this back plane and this bottom plane. I was trying to see the cross axis there. But you see how my hand went like this? Well, that's completely inaccurate. That's only because that's the angle I'm most used to when it comes to the bottom angle. It's like the more prevalent bottom plane. But the more prevalent bottom plane is not what we're doing right now, so I need to constantly keep readjusting. That's normal, by the way. The fact that your mind will just be like, the back's going this way, right? But it's like, oh, shut the fuck up, bring it all the way here. Think about the convergence. Oh, look at that, that's hot, ain't it? I don't know where, I don't know what this bit is, and I don't know. I have this weird fucking tendency to just snort, and I'm like, haha, that's funny, lol, XD, I'm snorting, and my friends just, one of my friends, Mr. O, right, well, he cringes quite a bit, which makes me happy. Like, I'm happy that he cringes, right? And again, like, even while I'm drawing this line, I am zoomed in, but I'm thinking about this cross-axis, this diagonal, and then this center, which again, you'll see it's off, right? Because I'm diverging it, so I need to really go back and be like, okay, that's the center. Much more accurate. And then that's the vertical center, and this is the horizontal center, right? Emphasis on the whore, but let me rest my brain. That's very difficult. And I love this, like, and I haven't even pushed my ability to really think yet, right? Like, and again, don't forget, I'm talking while I'm thinking. So there's different parts of my brain being activated. The prefrontal cortex, the visual spatial sketchpad, right? Intense working memory being constantly applied, right? And then narrating that on top of that. Why? Because metacognition, thinking about thinking, being an observer to my skill in of itself, and for your benefit now and fucking years down the line, right? You'll all be fucking jerking and praying to my goddamn Boxes and cylinders. Right? Everybody be like, oh, I'm so glad he explained everything. This is normal, right? We're supposed to experience this. The answer is yes. The answer is yes, you're supposed to be experiencing all these different things, right? Like when you're trying, this is actually what it feels like, which is just like, oh, I can't think, I can't see. I'm constantly like fucking oscillating and shifting between all these different things. Like even now when I'm looking at this, I haven't even thought about the sphere yet, but now I really have to start thinking about it because I've already done a lot of the grunt work for myself in terms of thinking and seeing through the form. So now I have to push even further and be like, where is the sphere located? And I believe it's perfectly fit right somewhere around here. Somewhere around here at this size, right? And this box has issues, but it's better than this. And I still think I made the front plane too large for sure. The front plane should actually even be a bit narrower, probably around here, right? But we're gonna keep it because this is a mistake I have to live with, right? But it's getting better. Just my depth in general, like the box I'm drawing is getting better, and you can see my lines suffer when I really try to visualize these. And again, my eyes get warm, right? This is when your fucking myelination is at its peak, and you're starting to experience output regression. But this is when you rest your brain. So please rest your brain. But yeah, see like how in the beginning I couldn't even see, if it wasn't clear, I literally could not see this mental model at all. Like not even close to this, but just the general box, see through the box, the center. And for me, that's general, by the way. For me, that's general. At this point, after 1,000 plus hours of intensive spatial reasoning, intentional spatial reasoning practice, right? But like, yeah, with that context in mind, for me, I couldn't even see like in the beginning, the box, the sphere inside the box, and like seeing through the form. But now that I've done a lot of the grunt work for myself, it's easier to see, right? It's easier to see. So that's also the big thing, is like, now I have another responsibility to, and I'm like zoomed in right now because obviously I'm trying to get this down decently. But like I have, let's see, this is going in. And I'm like, while I'm doing this again, like I'm taking a pause because I have to keep seeing through the form, right? And then I'm trying to converge it slightly. And my lines, because they're being mediocre right now, right, they will suffer and make it look worse than it actually is, or like will make it more difficult to be properly calculated, right? Like my lines, because they're having these mistakes and these little like fucking wiggles, I guess you could call them, just poor line control, right? It's gonna create slight, minute disparities. I don't know why I put disparities in the box, right? But overall, now I have to think about the center line, right? And again, like constantly looking at the reference, being like, okay, this is basically where the bottom of her chin is, right? Thinking about the sphere, right? Where the sphere sits at this center point, right here, this diagonal. So that center point right there, the edge of it sits at this center point, that center point. And then this is the difficult part. It's like, okay, and then it sits at this center point, right? So that is what my sphere is right here. And you can see it really does create a near perfect sphere every time, you know? You probably can't see it, but just assume that all the fucking center points lined up on the back plane, this bottom plane, and this visible plane. It's two of the not visible planes and then two of the visible planes is what I'm understanding, right? Same thing here. It's like this visible plane, this not visible plane. Yeah, this not visible, and then I guess this one is different. Fuck if I know, bro. Fuck, what the fuck? So this one. Oh, and then this bottom one. Yeah, this bottom one, and then this back one. Right, and I got it wrong. I'm still figuring it out, leave me alone. I'm still fucking figuring it out. I'm still trying to recall because I have like a bunch of images and shit, right? I have like an image that I've just on my homepage now of how the sphere actually sits inside the box and trying to figure out the overall logic behind it, right? But this is constantly, I'm trying to think about this center plane, right? And this is where all the thinking is occurring right now. Like this is where all the thinking is occurring. And again, this is a wrong box. I see that now. Like the front plane is too narrow, right? It's too narrow, but we have to accept that. So my sphere will probably be a bit too, front plane is too wide, so my sphere will probably be a bit wide as well. But right now, the skill I'm building, by the way, like I know it looks like I'm not doing anything, so I'm explaining to you, is I'm constantly practicing seeing, Jesus Christ, bless me, through the form, right? But I'm really trying to practice seeing through the form while thinking about this convergence, that convergence, and this convergence, right? Like vanishing point here, here, and here, right? Because this is my horizon line, you know? So yeah, it's very difficult, very fun. And while I'm doing that, while I'm trying to think about those essentially, let's just say like, yeah, like half a dozen calculations, maybe 10 calculations, right? Maybe more, actually more, because I'm trying to think about the center, like definitely more than a fucking dozen, Jesus Christ, because I'm trying to think about this diagonal, this vertical, this horizontal, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, or fucking horizontal, vertical, right? And this isn't even, I haven't even started thinking about the ellipses yet, by the way. I haven't even started thinking about, that's why like, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time just staring at this fucking blank page, but the value is not what I'm doing physically. Oh, fuck me, I put my coffee on my drawing. Shit, good thing there's no stain. But the value, and every time I look away, my schema is lost. Every time I look back, I have to build it again, right? But the value is not in what I'm doing with my hands. The value is what I'm calculating with my mind, right? Like I want to be very clear, because now that I mentioned the ellipse, because I literally forgot about the ellipse as an existence, right? Because there's so much to calculate. But now that I'm doing that, I have to think about, okay, it's being projected outward. So my sphere has this contour. It has this contour, right? Following this. So it has this contour right around here, right? In the center. And then it has this ellipse right here, and that's projected outward as well. And that actually, again, like edges, like the edges of the ellipses actually help frame where the sphere sits as well, because this is the ellipse, right? And again, try to think about the center line and everything, but if this is the ellipse and it's the edge is right around here and it's projected back, right? That helps me know, and it's like this is the center right here. That helps me know that it's following the perspective, and then this is like, and then this curve right here is where it's where it has that center line, right? It'll make a lot more sense when I do draw it out again, but the point you need to know is I'm constantly calculating, right? I'm constantly calculating and shifting and taxing my working memory, right? Like I'm building a mental model. And yeah, the fact that I'm so aware that this is an incorrect front plane helps quite a bit, right? Because this is what is a lot more accurate. For sure. Like that already, huge difference, huge difference, right? And it's okay. Like maybe I should just keep it at that. Yeah, you know what? We will make this the new shit. Let's see. Yeah, we'll make this the new box, right? And then we'll cover this all out. My pen is dying. I'm honestly just trying to like eke out the last little bit of ink on this pen before I get my handy dandy new pen, which I do have prepared, right? Even while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to think about the side planes and the seen through planes and everything. Is it happening? No, because I'm super zoomed in on just making these lines decent, right? But there you go. That already looks a lot better. That already looks a lot better. But again, now I have to consistently keep thinking about how the sphere fits inside of this. And while I'm doing that, I have to think about the center lines for the sphere. So like while I'm thinking about the sphere aligning, so this is the beauty of it. This is the extent of which I'm calculating, right? Every time I visualize the sphere, like when I'm starting here, I'm thinking about the back plane, right? The seen through the invisible back plane. And this back plane is consistently incorrect, because you see I keep stopping here, but it stops here, like the actual plane itself that's adjacent to it, right? Stops there, or projected outwards from it, stops right around here. But my mind stops here, so I have to be aware of that and be like, oh, no, shift it, right? I also have to think about the convergence. You know, this is converging to a point here, so it's going to be slightly more angled, right? It's going to be going this way rather than this way, right? You want to be converging. And then, and this bit, I'm just letting you know all this, like this is everything I'm thinking about. Everything, I don't know why I sound like that. My voice sounds so fucking cringe, bro. Whenever I listen to this shit in these videos, I'm like, why is it so much higher pitch? Why do I sound like I have a dick in my throat, right? Yeah, I paused because I wasn't sure exactly where the dick is at this point in time, right? There's a lot of avenues, a lot of doors open. But anyways, I'm thinking about this seen through form, and because I'm thinking about this back form, I'm also thinking about this form back here, right? And then that means I'm also thinking about this diagonal, this center, vertical, right? This horizontal, like this. And then now I'm thinking about that, and that's just me thinking about that purely because I'm starting the ellipse here. Same thing, right? Or the sphere here, not the ellipse. I'm gonna keep interchanging it, not because I'm retarded, but because I'm retarded. All right, not because I'm stupid and I don't know, but because I'm stupid because I can't think about all these things and verbalize as well, because my cognitive, my working memory is taxed, right? The cognitive endurance, everything, I can't fucking speak. But anyways, right? And that's the center, and then when I go down here, I'm thinking about this center, right? And that's already incorrect, right? So I have to keep calculating and be like, oh, you know, this is the center. So we bring it back. There's this center right there, where I'm trying to make it connected to this center point, right? Based on this back sphere, or back, fucking Jesus Christ, back center point, right? This back plane, and then I bring it down here. And while I'm doing this, I need to also, the big thing is like I need to also think about the ellipses on each plane and then how it projects outward, right? So right here is the center point, and then this ellipse will project outward and then follow the sphere's center point. So there's a lot of things to think about. And this is, I can't even think about seeing through the sphere right now, but I'm trying really hard. That's actually another thing. Now that I mention it, funny, again, this is the thing. Now that I mention it, now I'm thinking about like, okay, like, well, I got the sphere, try to think about it and try to think about how each ellipse is being projected outwards to its center and it's being seen through. So like, it's just the ellipse projected outwards and you're seeing it through, right? Seeing it through over here, and like it's right in the center. Woof, lots of shit to think about. And like I'm just gonna try to hold that for as much as possible. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to hold this for as long as possible, right? I'm just trying to hold this for as long as possible, and this is extremely difficult, right? I'm just trying to, and right now I can only see through the form, but I'm trying to think about the sphere as well inside of it, that's aligned with all the center points, and now I'm trying to think about the ellipse that goes to the center on from each plane to the center of the sphere, and then also is seen through. And I'm silent right now because I'm really trying to hold it all together, like constantly trying to calculate everything, and this is extremely taxing. I feel the taxation, but this is exactly this, for like these micro split seconds where I just maybe see everything, or like 60 to 70% of it. That's exactly what my brain's constantly going to be working towards, right? It's just seeing that. So now I can't see anything anymore because I'm in output regression, apart from just seeing through the box and the center planes. But the sphere, to really, this is the part where you need to just push. You just have to keep pushing. It's like fucking pregnancy for your brain, bro. You just have to push it. You have to push into it. You know, you have to really, because then I forgot about the ellipses. I forgot about this ellipse. I forgot about seeing through the form. But right now, just the sphere. I have to think about the center and just really. Okay, there you go. My body was like tensing up there. Whew. Okay, now I'm gonna rest my brain and then we're gonna actually draw the features. You see, 20 something minutes, right? 26 minutes. I've only technically drawn a box, but my mind has gone through hundreds and hundreds of attempts of spatial reasoning, calculations, visualizations, right? Vast majority of those attempts being wrong, but vast majority of those attempts also constantly being course corrected to the best of my ability. That is learning. And then you feel good when you do this. I feel fucking amazing. I'm gonna bust a nut after this, just for fun, not even because of the drawing. But anyways, rest your brain, please. Also, I want to give a big shout out to your boy Trublados. I still don't know if he has any numbers in his username, but I know Trublados, right? He is probably the only person watching my videos right now because he continuously comments when I say nobody watches this, and he's like, I'm here, and he's like making commentary. He actually figured out, funny enough, because the video where this happens, right, where I say like, oh, I finally understand how the spheres are. He commented on the video prior to this, so the practice session prior to this, right? Because that's coming out today. Like this session is coming out today on May, what is it? 20th. It's coming out May 20th, right? And May 19th is when the prior session has been released, like yesterday. And he commented saying that, and by the way, while I'm talking, I'm already back to thinking, but like he commented, and now it's about, I have to fucking think about the Loomis proportions, bro. Fuck me. Oh, it's so difficult. It's so difficult because now I have to think about this entire fused schema to the best of my ability while seeing through the form. And I also have to be like, okay, now I have to actually think about like, where is the Loomis features? And the main thing is I got to think about the fucking nose. Once I can get the nose placed, like it should all, everything's coming out of Millhouse, right? It should all make sense. But this is roughly, I believe, where the nose is. And the nose, oh dude, this is so difficult to like conceptualize this. Because another thing is the fact that now that I know, like the sphere is actually where, the sphere is what I'm drawing on that's the funny part. Now my brain has to distinguish between the fact that the box is simply there to explain the logic of the sphere. I'll get back to Troubledos, but this is the part of fucking learning and like me getting distracted. Get fucking used to it, bro. But yeah, I was saying bro, comma, but anyways, but this is like what I need to internalize, and this is beautiful because this is like another quote-unquote revelation, and you'll have hundreds and thousands of these mini revelations throughout your art journey, and then you'll forget half of them, or even like 80% of them, and then you'll have them again in a newer, updated context when you're more skilled, right? Gonna keep happening. It's just gonna keep happening, and 99% of your revelations will be, wow, it's just about shapes, it's just about 3D, it's just about form, it's just about applying the other fundamentals like in relation to shape, form, 3D, right? Like, ooh, right? Like all, but the fucking gap is the 10,000 hours of effort. Right, that's the gap, is like knowing versus doing with intent. Doing your mom. Anyways, I already made that joke yesterday, but anyways, oh, Ray William Johnson equals 3 stuck in my head, right? He's doing good for himself. He's doing like TikTok shit, I think, right? It makes me want to puke, but hey man, he found a market. He found the fucking Gen Alpha market, so good on him. No, I actually think he does some pretty legit shit. My friend was saying he does like interesting documentaries or something, very cool. But anyways, fucking Jesus Christ, right? Probably half the people watching this channel don't even know who Ray William Johnson is. But because for some reason my audience skews very young. At least in my streams, everybody's like fucking 14 to 19. I had a 9-year-old pull up, and I'm like, why are you here? I'm swearing and saying stupid shit. Like, why are you here? You know? I mean, technically, I was swearing a little bit and saying a lot of stupid shit at the age of 9, but now that I'm older, I know that it wasn't good for me. Look at me, I turned out so... I did not turn out fine, right? But anyways, the revelation I'm having right now, quote-unquote revelation, but just deeper understanding that I'm having right now is like, the box is simply there to inform the logic and build a schema for the sphere, right? And to retain and maintain a consistent perspective. But the features I am drawing are on the sphere. So if the nose looks like it's misplaced on the box, which it might not be, this might just be my misunderstanding of the actual like schema in of itself, right? But if the nose, so this actually should be further out, because I'm trying to think like where's the center. So it's like this, right? And then it's right here, this is the center point, and then yeah, right around there is the center point, and then right around there. Okay, so this is, and then projecting it outward, right? And this is my center. So the nose is roughly, and I gotta fucking draw her nose, should be around here. Because I'm drawing on top of the sphere. This is all being drawn on top of the sphere. It is not being drawn on the box. That is the big distinction. Distinction is the big distinction now. Is like the nose, and this is extremely difficult because the box exists, right? But the sphere is located in a particular manner inside the box. And this is why me being able to understand and maintain the consistent location of the sphere in this schema, while also being able to project, at the very least at this moment, if not all of them, but at the very least, purely for the center line, the vertical center line, so I can align the features, the nose, right? This ellipse has to be projected outward, right? And that means the center is here, right? The center is here, which may look odd because it's like, okay, but the center of the box is here. Why would the center of the sphere be here? Because the sphere sitting perfectly inside this box stops at this edge. This is where its edge stops. So it makes sense that the center of the sphere in perspective would be aligned with this bottom plane center, right? Which then this ellipse is projected outward like so. That makes sense. So now that we know that, right, and I'm still trying to really see this box properly. By the way, this thing, even though I've established the new front plane, it's still an obstruction, don't get me wrong. I still have to constantly calculate against that. And my brain is really taxed trying to see through the form, and it's not seeing through the form correctly, especially this top plane. Like this back plane, this is all sorts of fucked, right, in terms of trying to see through it. But it's getting better. You can see I'm really trying to take my time with ghosting and placing these little markers, right? But it's getting better. Like, it genuinely is getting better, which I'm very happy about. But now before I rest my brain, I really have to visualize this entire thing and then be like, the center of the sphere is here, bars, but the center of the sphere is here roughly, right? This is the center. This is this center, right? Because, let's see, why is this center? I need to think. If this is this center here, why is because it's aligned right here, makes sense. It's aligned to this center point. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, and it's aligned to this center point. So that's what it's like. So it's like this. It's very, and I'm making it way too wide right now. Like as you can see, I'm making it way too wide, but it needs to be a lot narrower. Maybe you can't see that because my fingers are like oh, they're shaking a bit and stuff. But and then we got the side, right? We got this side right here, which means like this front ellipse. And where does that stay? Right, that stays. Which center is that aligned to? See, like I'm still having trouble figuring out this front plane projection of the ellipse, right? So that should be right around here, right? Maybe. Still confusing to me, to be honest. But oh, because it's not the side. It's not this. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain and I'm gonna try to figure this out again. You can see, like, I haven't done anything, but I'm calculating, constantly visualizing, and trying to see a million fucking things, which is the beauty, the fact that we can even achieve these, right? It's amazing, it's amazing. Maybe I should, okay, I'm gonna make like a tiny little example of what I'm seeing, so maybe that makes it a bit clearer, right? Because this is all vague, possibly, probably, very likely right now. So yeah, let me rest my brain and then I'll actually like, do a tiny little version of what I'm trying to understand. Okay, see, 36 minutes. 36 minutes from what seems to be not much, but what really is everything. Like, this is everything, the thinking, right? And the more complex the thing you're trying to do, the more thinking is required. Like, right now, for you, for the drawing the box and the cylinder, or just the horizon line in one plane and one vanishing point, whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, the more simple one. Not easy, but simpler, more basic. Right? Not easy. I'm very aware. Don't worry. It's not easy. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions. I've been there. And it's fucking documented. Right? So I get it. Right? Just to show my own, my progress. Or, whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. But either way. Right? So this, let's say this is the box. Right? This is the box. Okay, this pen is basically fucking dead. Jesus Christ. But this is the box. And what I'm seeing is, what I'm visualizing is these center planes. Right? Everywhere. This is literally what I'm constantly trying to visualize, right? These center planes, fucking everywhere. And I'm also trying to see through the form, right? So like, I'm not gonna draw the center planes everywhere because you're aware, right? And then I'm trying to figure out how the sphere sits in there. I know that the sphere is, it is, and this is the center point, right? So the sphere basically sits like so, roughly, from my understanding, right? It sits like this. There you go. It's not the best sphere, but it sits roughly like that and adjacent to all these center points. Now the question I'm trying to ask myself is, with this front ellipse, right, how is that projected outward into the sphere? Because if you project it outward and this is the center, then we really shouldn't, it should just be the side. But I had the same problem here, like it should just be the side of the sphere, right? It should just be the side, but that's not what's happening, right? Like, what I mean is, like, it should just be the silhouette, but that can't be true because we have to be able to see this center line somehow. So either I'm misunderstanding how the sphere is placed in relation to the center points, as in I'm using the wrong center points to locate it, right? And I probably am, actually, because if we think about it, it should probably be this center point. This one's right. I think it should be the back one. Show maybe? What the fuck am I saying show maybe for? So maybe it's something like this. That doesn't make any sense because then there's a lot of space left here because again, it's three-dimensional, right? So I'm just trying to figure out right now, based on all these center points and everything, like how this front ellipse, because the middle ellipse makes sense. Middle ellipse is something like that, right? The middle, and that's too wide, I get it. but it should a little be a bit wider because it is converging, right? The back plane is wider, so that makes sense. This one here also makes sense, right? This is the center, so it comes across like so, right? It goes around. It's just for me, what is this? The front plane. I don't know what axis that is, bro. I'm not that fucking much deep with spatial reasoning. I don't really get anything, but how does this come across? Is it like you see a little bit and then it blends into the edge of the sphere? Right? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, because it's not super important to me just trying to place the feature, but it is important to me trying to understand the space that it resides in. So again, like now that I'm here again, right, I need to think like this front ellipse, right, needs to be projected outwards, and then it is it? It's really hard to think because I literally have to see this entire fucking schema to see through everything, and I have to see the sphere and I have to think like, how is it actually projected, right? Like what is actually happening here? But I think the only way to, what did I do here? So what did I figure out here, right? That this front was, let's see, yeah, it's something like this, but then that's the back. But then what did I do? So it's the, is it in accordance with the top and the bottom? Like, okay, so I think the center points that I'm using could be wrong, right? Like how the sphere sits in it. So sphere is bottom and top, right? Bottom and top. And then is it front and back? Is that more accurate? So if it's bottom and top and then front and back, that would, bottom and top, front and back, is that more accurate? Because then we got this, it's projected. No, that doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of space left here, right? And the sphere is touching all sides actually. So it's touching the top, the left, the bottom, right? The side. The back is being touched through this front sphere, through this projection, right? That the back is being touched there. So it's like right around there. But the back of the center plane. I'm probably not explaining this that well. What I'm trying to say is there's center points on each single plane, right, that we can and cannot see. The sphere, from my understanding, is to touch those center points, the edges of it. That's how we get the curve. So it's like it's touching, you know, very, very, very central touching. It's touching there, right? It's touching there, it's touching there, it's touching there. No, stop. It's touching here, right here. At the very least, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So the visible and the invisible. So invisible, invisible, right? Visible, visible. And then the invisible again, like the back plane here, it's touching. Right? And then the front is touching this way. Yeah, see, the front and the back is touching this way, right? And then this is obviously like hitting the bottom. But what about the side? What about the side, this front? What is that? What's happening there? Right? Is it just in this angle that I can't conceptualize it? Is that what's happening? Because then again, like if we have this front plane, and it's all in the center, right? So if we have this center, then yeah, we're gonna see like a little bit. But is it just because it's this angle? But does that even make sense, right? Let me think about it again, right? So if we just take the ellipses, if we just take the centers, right? If we just take the centers, like if we take the ellipse, project it outwards into the center, and this will I'll probably just only be doing this as my repetition today, because this is important for me to really try to figure out. I'm really trying to think about this, right? Like this is problem solving. This is me trying to break it down to myself. Hopefully it helps you. Again, like I want to skip the bullshit for all of you, right? Not in the sense that you're not going to do this work or like whatever the equivalent of this work is for you, right? But if I can explain it better to myself and articulate it in the manner, but if I can I clearly cannot articulate anything, but if I can articulate it in a manner which has sound logic, right? And of course I'll keep like double checking and trying to understand based on like the models that I'm seeing, like that I have on my phone, right? I have a sphere model, and then and this box could be incorrect too. Let's not forget, this box definitely has a couple issues, right? But so I'm trying to think is like the center plane here, this middle one, and then this vertical one, this horizontal center plane here, already based on these cross axes, right? Right, that creates this ellipse, that creates this ellipse. It's this ellipse right here, it's just being projected outward, right? And with slightly more of a degree, right? Slightly more of a wider degree, right? Because it is converging now, there is convergence happening. So it's not as narrow, right? But it's not super wide either, right? Like it's like the middle point between this one and this one, and then this one and this one, right? So I need to think about that, and it's obviously meeting the center point, this center axis, and this center axis, right? So that's my center of the sphere, right? Projected outwards. But if that is my center, then how's the sphere located? Is it top, bottom? Let's see. Because if that's my center of the ellipse, lots of things to try to figure out, right? Very difficult. Like, this could be wrong too. I love this. I fucking love this. But this is let's see. So if that's my center, like that's the center ellipse, right? It's just the center ellipse. Then let's see. So what is happening? Is it touching this center? No, maybe it's not touching that center. Maybe it is touching this center, right? Is it touching this? And then it's touching the top center. So is it just hitting the center point of the top? And my brain is really tired right now, like from trying to figure all this out, which is good. This is exactly where I want to be, because this is problem solving. The top, the bottom, and the top and bottom is arbitrary, right? But the plane, the bottom plane, the top plane, it's not, is it touching the back plane? Because I'm trying to think about this, and then this one as well, this center here, like that is also what the sphere is a part of. So I need to think, like, is it this? No, because then that's not a perfect sphere, right? Whew, okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. And this very well could be that you don't, in this angle, I don't really see the, this ellipse, right? It could very well be that, because if you pull it up a bit more, then we'll see it, right? Like if we tilt this, it's like this, right? If we tilt it up, we'll likely see that this side plane, this side ellipse, but I'm just trying to figure it out. Let me rest my brain. Oh God, this is so good, bro. Rest your brain as well, please, as well. But yeah, spatial reasoning is a geometry problem, right? It is literally just geometry, math, calculations. The better you understand it, the better your intuitive, quote unquote, intuitive drawings, right? The better your ability to play with it, you know? And like, again, Kim Jong-il constantly, anytime he drew, he would draw like a super complicated bike or a face, and then he'd do this. He'd literally do this. He'd be like this. He'd draw the sphere, he'd draw the box, right? Right? And he didn't do this often, and then he'd just be like, oh yeah, and then you see this, and you see this, right? And that's why you have this, like this where the eye is, right? And it just do shit like that, and then he'd just be like, whoop, 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 right? And then he just like, with the jaw, he's like, oh, and then it comes outward, and he'd have like his own the thing is, like, everybody creates their own mannequins, like everybody creates their own geometry, right? His was slightly different, but the point is, right, like this is, it's like a hack, right? Just put a fuck ton of effort into understanding space, and everything else comes easily. Not easy, but easy. So sorry, everything else comes easier. It's not easy no matter what, but it 100% translates, right? And you don't have to believe me, but it does. But oh yeah, I forgot to talk about Trublados. Basically, Trublados the GOAT. Only reason I have fucking any watch hours right now. Thank you, thank you, bro. Thank you. But let's see. So this is my sphere, and then this is my center of my sphere. But that is my center of my sphere. Yeah, that is. And then this is my center. Yeah, okay, so it is the edge. Right now, like, we don't really see, we really don't see the, this side plane, because it's just the edge of the sphere in and of itself, is my understanding. I could be wrong. It's a lot of thinking happening right now. Like, I'm pretty much in output regression, because I can only barely see through the form, and that's why I'm ghosting so much. Right, and I can only barely see the sphere and the center lines, like really not happening, right? I'm an output regression. What is output regression? When your brain, you're taxing your working memory, you're trying really hard to, like, you know, visualize, apply, calculate all these things, but you're seeing even less than you were in the beginning. Like, it's just nothing's happening. That right there is when your brain is undergoing myelination, where the myelin sheath is getting thicker, I believe, right? Which is making, and your brain is like in problem solving mode, right? And when you attach dopamine to this feeling, this is when neuroplasticity increases, because you're increasing the you're increasing the amount. You're basically signaling to your brain. By the way, this is how you know that my brain is taxed, because I can't even explain this process when I actually know it pretty decently, right? But your brain is essentially taxed. When you attach dopamine to it, it frames to your brain. By the way, your brain doesn't understand any of these terms, but it just understands the chemicals you're releasing. So when you're releasing dopamine, good feelings, it signals to your brain that this specific thing that you're paying attention to needs to be paid attention to. But when you feel frustration while doing this, by the way, it does the opposite. So I'm telling you right now, if you're frustrated while drawing, if you're signaling frustration, right, which is, I believe, cortisol rather than dopamine, right, that signals to your brain that this is not to be paid attention to. By the way, cortisol is part of the learning process, but it's part of the focusing process. Acetylcholine, norepinephrine, that's what it's part of, right? Not in terms of your response to the effort in and of itself. It's the conduit of the effort, but it's not the response to the effort, if that makes sense, right? It's the funnel for the effort. At least that's my understanding. Somebody can fucking correct me, but TLDR, I don't think anybody's gonna argue with the fact that like when you attach dopamine to your mistakes and when you focus only on the effort and when you actually feel good about it, like you learn better, right? And these micro gap effects make you learn better as well. So I think I've got it. Yeah, I think I've got it. So this is my center, right? And this is the center plane. Yeah, I think I've got it. I just need to think about now the Loomis, which is even more difficult so I want to be very clear. I have to visualize this entire thing now, right, to the best of my ability, right, in this perspective. So like I'm only doing 1 rep today. Makes sense. I'll read 50 minutes. I'm completely fine with that because I'm trying to understand this a lot deeper than I am. It's like I'm always trying to understand it deeper, but today especially I'm really trying to like break it down and keep visualizing, right? Keep. Fucking, I don't even know what bird that is. What is that? Is that a cockatoo? But anyways, let's see, right, this back plane, I still don't visualize it properly, right, and just, okay, so just for a moment, I saw it through the form, only because I was ghosting, but see, like, even my forms that I'm seeing through, I have to keep adjusting, because, like, my brain is diverging it this way, this back plane, it keeps making it diverge this way, so I have to keep being like, no, and this is when you attach good feelings. And by the way, I can only see that right now. And now I'm trying to see the entire wireframe, like the entire schema, the diagonals, everything, right? This bottom diagonal, really trying to see that, really trying to understand it, right? Same with this center line. I don't really see that center line much at all. So I have to be very aware of all these things. When I look at it, I can see it a lot better, by the way. Like when I look at it, I can see it a lot better. Not perfectly, but a lot better. But the goal isn't to look at it. The goal is to see it all holistically as a fused fucking, like, yeah, just a completely fused mental model to the best of my ability. And your brain will struggle and resist that because it doesn't understand it. It can't do it. You can't do what you can't do. You can only try to do what you can't do, which is where you end up being able to do what you can't do. Right? Slowly but surely. That's a very, very fucking general explanation of the fact that, yes, putting effort, attaching dopamine, and just striving to understand the thing forces your brain to change, right? Through a series of chemicals. And it's all consolidation. It's all chunking information, consolidating it. But anyways, by the way, I'm still trying to think about everything right now, especially the sphere. You can probably see me constantly like trying to get this form down, but either way, like, and I can't even see the center contours. I can't. I'm trying really hard, but I really can't. Because the second I try projecting this ellipse onto the center, right, that results in me losing the edge of the sphere, right? That literally, so I need to hold the sphere pretty steady in my mind, right? Like, and again, you can see I'm doing a very wide ellipse, so I need to, or wide sphere. Again, I'm interchanging it a lot, but I need to hold it a lot. And then now while I'm doing this is crucial. While I'm doing this, I need to project this ellipse out to the center and be like, oh, okay, I think I get it now. That's the center. And I'm doing it wrong too, but I'm gonna rest my brain. Holy shit, that's the thing. When you literally feel that tension, right, in terms of like, oh dude, like that's the discomfort, that's like striving, really pushing, straining, you push into that a little bit more, and then you take a micro gap effect, which is playing it at 10 to 20 times the repetitions, right? So rest your brain with me. Yeah, but I keep basically talking about Troubledos and then getting completely sidetracked with the actual thing at hand. So right now, I'm not going to draw yet. Well, I am drawing already in my mind. I'm already thinking about everything, but I'm not going to make the physical mark for the face, which I said I would do for the past 40 minutes, but thankfully I'm glad I've actually really tried to figure it out, right? I'm really trying to think about this center plane right now and how it connects, and then the ellipse that's inside of it, and then how that's part of the sphere. So I'm really trying to think about that right now. Just know that I'm trying to see everything right now while I explain this, which is basically one part of my brain is trying to talk about something completely different, while the other part of my brain is trying to spatially reason and focus on that, right? What I'm building is God tier brain ability. I guess, something like that. But yeah, to Troubledos, because you're my only fan, right? Like, who actually watches along with these videos. If anybody else is here, by the way, don't feel like, oh, he doesn't notice me. Fucking comment so I can be like, hey, you too, here's your validation, right? But whoever is here now or in the future, right? I hope, again, like, keep going, right? I hope I keep proving that this guy just fucking struggles and jerks himself off mentally every single day, right? just bust blue balls and bust the most intensive nut through of a dopamine and neuroplasticity release every single day. And I hope me explaining how this works, like what your brain's actually doing, right? Oh, by the way, I'm consistently losing the scene through form here, right? And I can't see the sphere at all, right? Because again, my brain's so focused on trying to explain a coherent story, right? But I'm constantly trying, and I keep losing this center plane. I can't even think about this ellipse right now. I'm trying right now that I thought about it. But like in general, like this bottom ellipse, this front ellipse, I can't really think about that right now, right? I'm just trying to get the center plane aligned with the sphere. Well, like the contour of this ellipse aligned with the center plane of the ellipse, right? Of the sphere, and then the ellipse appropriately attached as a center contour, vertical center contour of the ellipse, while also making sure this curve is hitting this back center point, right? So it's very subtle. It's very, very subtle. Yeah, there you go. See, like this is the center, and then this is the edge of the sphere. And again, my brain's already like feeling that warmness. My eyes are fucking warm, right? But to you, Troubledos, to you, the other fans, the people who are just here, and they're like, oh, let this be a glimpse into the capability that you are capable of, whether you're ahead of me, whether you're behind me. I assume you're behind me. B, look at my year 1 to 2 playlist. Look at, like, generally you don't have to watch anything, but just look at the slow and steady progress, right? And I want that to be comforting to you. Like, oh, it's just constant effort. He's just been putting constant effort, and he keeps telling me I'm capable of it. So I'm telling you again, you're capable of it, right? Like, I just want it to be reassuring that like this is the path, and you're capable of that path, and your path will be different than mine, will have its own nuances, but the overall path on becoming a better, because I assume your goal is one of your big goals is drawing from imagination, becoming an excellent draftsmanship, like fucking dream big, like draftsman, right? Or draftswoman, or gender equality, but either way, fucking dream big, work your fucking ass off to the best of your ability, right? And understand the work you're putting in and how that correlates to the dream itself, but then tie like the actual meaning of what you're doing to just the effort you're putting in, right? Like just keep going, right? It's like this thing. It's like I have a huge dream of like making the Animorphs fan manga and being a god tier draftsman on the levels of Kim Jong-il, Karl Kapinski, Peter Han, Elisa Ivanova, fucking TB Choi, Sori Kim, right? Jake Wang Park, the fucking Norman Rockwell, Marshall Vandroff, right? Fucking what the fuck is his name? Katsuhiro Otome, I think the creator of Akira, right? Akira Toriyama, right? Like, okay, I can just keep going, but the point is, I have these huge goals, but I also at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter if I never reach any of them, because my real goal is just effort. It's just constant effort, directionally correct effort. So I'm telling you right now, you can fucking do this, right? When we tie our worth to how much we try, and acknowledge that this is the hardest. Like every day is just gonna be a different type of trying, right? Today it's like, today I can try pretty well. Tomorrow I might be like 40%, but I give 100% of that 40%. Another day I might be 20%. But again, progress does not look like this, like linearly. It's a trajectory. This is the trajectory, but reality, I don't know why I said like that, but reality is like this, right? Again, +5, -10, +3, -2, +10, -1, right? And then +1, -6. But you see how you started here and you're over here, and this was month 1 and this was month 14, right? That's the reality. And then your fucking goal is like up there. It's like all the way up there, right? But again, the mountain, the peak of one mountain just shows you the further peaks ahead of you, right? So the process is genuinely what matters. And I'm telling you, this is the mentality that really helps with the process. Like, this is the mentality that makes it, because then it's effort focused and not goal focused. The goals exist. The goals exist as an evaluation. The goals exist as a means of grounding yourself and understanding where you're going, right? But the focusing on the effort is just like, okay, at the end of the day, I know where I'm going and I'm just gonna fucking try. And trying is all that matters to where I'm going, right? But yeah, Thank you, Troubadours, for the watch hours. And anybody else is like, this fucking guy's annoying, but I really like his, what is there to like about me? Well, I really like it, whatever there is. However minute it may be, right? It's okay, when I'm great, you guys will just be like, ha ha ha, the disparity between his skills and his personality is incredible. Wow, shock value, I want to fucking like, subscribe, and give him money. But now it's just like, this guy's not only is he fucking annoying, he has no skills to back it up. I'm sorry, give me like 500 years. Give me 500 hours, actually. Give me 500 hours, right? Because that's all I can control. But anyways, let's just get the fucking features down, bro. Holy shit, because I can't even think about the Loomis, nothing. I'm in pure output regression, so might as well just try to get the nose and like really try to think, because I'm still not gonna guess. I don't know why I said guess like that, but I'm not gonna guess, right? But I am going to think about the bottom, and this is where the nose is, right? This is roughly where the nose is. And again, the nose, the features, what I have to really keep making clear to myself. Okay, it's time for a new pen. This pen is dead. And now you're gonna see how much shittier my lines are when the ink is actually bleeding through or absorbing properly. But this, and again, I'm trying to think about the sphere. So like this is a third, this is a third, right? Okay, so like this is the forehead third, right? This is the eye line third, and this is the bottom of the nose third, right? Or like the so this is the bottom of the nose. Fucking baseball joke, right? Bottom of the ninth, haha. Anyways, leave me alone. And I'm really trying to think about this because it's attached on the sphere. That's the big thing. Like it's attached to the sphere. The box, I need to keep internalizing that the box is simply the perspective reinforcer, right? And again, like while I'm doing this, while I'm drawing these features, I'm fucking, bro, like my brain, like seriously, bro, like my brain is dying. It's dying so much, right? So her eyebrows. So this is okay. So I made the nose too big again, because again, like I'm also completely changing my or like remodeling my understanding of the center line, because it's different than what I was doing with the box before, right? But this is extremely difficult, and I love it. I love it so much. Let's see, and now I know like the edge of the sphere is right around here. So this actually makes complete sense. This literally makes complete sense. Right? And again, while I'm trying to draw these features, but I'm also thinking about the features are just a fucking byproduct. They're just what's added on the spatial engine, right? I want to be very clear. Like the features is the fucking last thing. Right now, they obviously will be manipulated forms, right? They literally will be simple and manipulated forms, right? Like that is going to happen, right? But right now, they are just a means of expressing, because like they're three-dimensional. Obviously, they are three-dimensional. They are obviously. And again, like I'm fucking up the perspective for them. This should have been a little bit larger, right? Or like a little bit higher up, but they are three-dimensional. They of course are three-dimensional, and they are like they are on the schema in of itself, right? Like they're resting on the sphere. But the main thing is, and let me try to get our lips down, right? Let's see, this is the center. And I am trying to think about them three-dimensionally, but don't forget, like the lips, everything, basically the goal right now is get the schema down. And then we're putting the, oh shit, I fucked up the other side of her lips so badly, bro. But the main thing is get the schema down so I can put everything on top of that, right? And again, my mind is basically dead. Like, I'll be completely honest, I can't fucking think of anything, can't see anything. And this looks like a ghoul. This does not look like a human being. This does not look like a fucking person, right? Because I'm trying really hard to, yeah, like I fucked up her lips to the nth degree horribly, but and then again, like the Loomis head, it's all calculated here, right? So let's see, I don't know what her jaw looks like because it's covered by the hijab, but we're just gonna assume it's something like this, right? Let's see. And then I'm trying to think about okay, this is where like obviously I can just draw the sphere. Right, because it is cut out. Whee! Something like that. Right, because then it's going down, 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 down. Well, like that's just the skull, right? That doesn't have to be anything specific. And again, this is what I was thinking. Like this is 1/3, this is the other third. Or like maybe the forehead, the hairline's higher up. The hairline is definitely higher up. It's like up here. This is the third. Maybe I made the eyebrows a bit too high, and then this is another third. You can see they're like roughly even, right? And I got obviously like there's a little bit of foreshortening, right? Like this is maybe slightly less than this, but that's the third, right? And then I made her lips way too big. So the distance between this, like her eyebrows and the bottom of her nose, should be the distance between these two. But I think like the actually distance is okay, but the features are incorrect. Okay, so it's already been a lot of time. This is just what we're gonna call it. I don't know what the fuck her hair looks like, so this is just gonna be a bald lady. This is right. This is Saitama, but Middle Eastern edition, right? I don't know why I keep saying Middle Eastern, because I'm sure there's more cultures that wear hijabs, like Pakistani women, right, wear hijabs. A Muslim women in general wear hijabs, right? They're not just isolated in the Middle East, but I like being wrong. I like being wrong. You know, that gives you, the viewer, the opportunity to be like, you ignorant piece of shit. Don't you know X, Y, Z? I'm like, I didn't. Thank you. Now I'm more educated. I appreciate you. So yeah, here's what I'm actually visualizing. Visualizing, right? And by the way, while I was doing this, I did not see anything. It was purely. It wasn't. I wasn't trying to do guesswork, but it was like, I was just doing my best to try to understand while I was doing it. That's the best I can fucking give you, right? That's my shitty explanation. So again, here let's draw through the form, completely fuck up the, oh, see, like it's supposed to be converging, so I already got that wrong, right? And then this is why, like, trying to converge here, trying to converge here. Okay, cool. So we got a box. It's a decent box. It's not the best box, but it's a decent box. He's trying his best, okay? And then this is the sphere, right? So it's based on this center line, and you can see, like, I'm getting slightly better at making it not perfect, but slightly better, right? And then this center line, right? This is everything I'm trying to visualize, by the way. This, fuck me, that's a horrible line, bro. This center line, and you know, this cross axis is what I should be saying, like this, because I will be drawing the vertical and horizontal as well, right? And this one, and you can see, like, I really struggle with my lines in general in drawing this, like this way, like pushing outward and bringing it inward. And then of course this one in the back, right? And it's fucking me up, trust me, it's fucking me up to draw all of this. Like, to try to like really showcase, but this is what you need to know. Like, this is just the first step of what I'm trying to visualize. Now we draw the center line, like the vertical and horizontal center line, right? And we're gonna obviously do it this way, because I need to establish to myself that these are planes, right? Center planes that exist, right? So they're going across. And this is what I need to just consistently see in my mind. This is why, I hope you can see, it's going to take me another 200 hours, right? Like, this is part, where the fuck is the center here, bro? Oh, yeah, it's correct, okay, Jesus. No, like, fuck, I forgot the center wrong, but whatever. See, it's all part of the, oh, I forgot to do the back planes center as well. So, like, yeah, this is all the fuckery I'm trying to see. Right, this is the center, and then where's this center? Oh yeah, see, so this is also the vertical center plane. And I think I got all the center planes. So this is just the box and all the center planes and the diagonals and everything fucking involved in that. Right, like, oh, okay, I think I got this. Oh no, I didn't get this horizontal one. There you go, and then this is going through, and then there you go, that's going through. So like rough, very rough. So that's just the first step. And then we get the sphere. Right, we get the sphere involved in here, and that's where I'm gonna use the other darker pen so you can understand what the fuck I'm trying to see, right? And it's a good thing I try to see them first. So okay, so like this, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, so it's not attached to the left center plane. It's attached to the bottom one, right? This sphere is attached to the bottom one, the side one, and the top one. It's the top, bottom, and side is what it should be attached to, I believe. That's not a good sphere, but I could be wrong, bro. I literally could be wrong. But, and then the center plane is this, right? Where it's going through, right? This is the center plane, because it's this ellipse right here. Like, this ellipse is what's being projected outwards, right? And then it's like, whoop, what's over here? Okay, cool. So this is the center plane. The sphere could be wrong. Still trying to figure all of this out, because if it's projected outwards, then I think I should have made the curve a little bit more like that. Yeah, there you go, because then it'll come out, and then it's actually projected like this, right? This is just little nuances, right? Projected outward, and then same with the horizontal, right? The horizontal sphere, horizontal ellipse. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, you can see my brain's basically dead. And you project it outward, and it's at the edge. right? This is like the cross axis that I'm trying to see, and then the vertical one, right, which is this. And it's like, how is that projected, right? Because if you bring it to the middle, then yeah, it's basically just the edge of the sphere for the time being. Yeah, still trying to figure it out. But all you need to know is basically, and again, like this positioning looks different because I think I did position this incorrectly compared to this, or maybe because this box is slightly bigger. I don't know. It's so difficult. But the thing is, the idea I understand now, and I just need to figure out like how it's all positioned. Still trying to figure out the schema, but yeah, my brain's dead. This is great. Like it's, but what you need to know is like, take the face away. That entire fuckery is what I'm trying to see. I don't know why I said what I'm trying to see like that, but that is what I'm trying to see. All right. This is the schema that will be the foundation, and I'm giggling because it's like, oh, it's amazing. You know, this is like, it's so deep. It goes so deep and it creates such a strong foundation, right? Like, and it's completely transferable. Yet again, I want to say to this, right? Because when I say like this practice, what I mean is fundamentals practice. Like my channel, the fundamentals, everything gets more and more complex, right? Like I didn't just start with this. I started with fucking struggling how to draw a goddamn cylinder, and that's all documented too, right? If you go to year 1 to 2, you see that I spent fucking thousands, hundreds of hours and thousands of repetitions just trying to figure out how to draw a cylinder in many perspectives, right? And even now, like I make mistakes, right? But yeah, this is basically like, this schema is what I'm trying to see, right? Like this. And I actually did draw this. I know, like, trust me, like, I know I drew this ellipse kind of wrong, right? I know it could be a lot cleaner, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a fucking million things that could be a lot better. But the point is, this schema, and trying to solidify this schema, my eyes are fucking warm, geez. But to the extent, like, to this extent, and then the face will be starting, and then we'll start with the Loomis manipulations. Like, oh, look, now this sphere is attached to the jaw, like the jaw shape. Like that is the extent, and that's why minimum 200 hours of just this portrait series will easily be like 700 hours, right? And then yeah, like I foresee by 2030, 2031, I'll be like really done with the portraiture, and then we'll move on to figures, same level of depth, another fucking 500 hours, and then to environments, another 500 hours, right? And then, you know, after that, like in between those, I'll probably finish up the, you know, the beginner like fundamentals roadmap, intro to drawing they call it now, from artwod, as well as I'll do probably a decent amount of the intermediate roadmap as well. So just keep going, right? And yeah, that's all long-term trajectory over decades, right? But with that being said, as always, I hope you put a lot of effort in. This was a great session. Now rest your brain for minimum 15 minutes after this drawing session, minimum, right? Like really get that, like your brain will consolidate this information, update, right? So rest your brain, right? And as always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please, give me money.